Who's it, Joe?
It is, yes.
Shout out to Joe.
Yeah.
I think my parents are talking together.
Speaking of Joe, I saw my new apartment yesterday, Jamie.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. So
Yes.
Joe is my roommate. We've all strangely got new jobs and stuff and are moving down to the big schmoke in London.
Big schmuck.
So they've moved down. They got our apartment sorted and everything, and myself and Anna are going to move down. But yeah, I actually saw it for the first time yesterday, and it's quite a step up from where I currently live, with all the junkies and the needles and the fucking piss steps trying to get into my house.
The people living underneath the steps to get into your house.
People living underneath the fire escape that I need to access to get into my house. Little fucking
funny.
trash gremlins screaming at me in the morning and the night from underneath the steps. Yeah.
Pay the toll troll.
Yeah, the fucking trolls living underneath my staircase. I don't have that anymore. This place
Nice.
is like in quite a nice area of London. But it was quite interesting. Going into the apartment the first time, I was quite taken aback because it just looks like a normal like apartment complex from the outside. But when I opened the door and into the like main area, I was instantly fucking transported back to the 70s. It was like so old school, like decor. There was green fucking thick carpet everywhere. The walls were fucking this horrible yellow beige, and it had that you know the like old people house smell, like the grandma smell.
Yeah, musky.
Musky.
Or musty.
So yeah, immediately hit by that, and I was like, oh boy, I've traveled back like 50 years. What's going on? So I was initially like, oh shit, is this where I'm gonna fucking be living? But I got into the apartment and it was lovely. The actual inside is great.
A bit more modern than the reception.
Yeah, would you believe I forgot what number flat it was? So I was like, well, not really forgot. I just had the number wrong in my head. So I was like,
Oh, okay.
right. I was like, right, so we're in whatever number it is. And I was like, plopping up the stairs, good, happy as Larry, get to the door, take out my keys, being like, because I've never been here before, I don't know what keys are what, and I just have a bundle of keys. So I was like standing at the door, fitting in all these keys and trying to turn it, and like banging on the door, being like, hello, anyone in? Let me in. Trying to get all the keys. And then I was just sitting there and I was like, what the fuck's going on? And I type in our group chat, hey, is anyone home? I'm trying to get in the door. And they're like, yeah, the door's open. We're looking for you. And I was like, uh-oh. So
Run.
yeah, I had spent like 2 or 3 minutes like banging on the door of some randomer's house, like fitting all these keys into their locks and stuff. And with this, the second they were like, yeah, Mark, the door is open. We're looking for you. I was like, my heart sank. And I immediately just like sprinted down the steps being like, fuck, where am I going? Where am I going? Get out of here.
Yeah, that's a real butthole clench moment, and you just fucking run.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm out of here. And I was hoping, because it's like a little apartment complex, I was like, fuck, I hope no one like says anything about this, because that's a terrible first impression.
Yeah. Like, who's that long-haired fucker trying to get into this random apartment?
Yeah, right. But
I mean,
yeah.
I assume that person was either out since they didn't open the door, or else they were in there hiding under their table calling the police.
Absolutely fucking terrified, like out of their brains, like with fear. I'm going with that one.
If that I'm trying to imagine if that happened to me now. Like, if I heard someone at my door rattling with keys, and it's just some strange man being like, hello, is anyone in there? Like,
that's really scary.
Nope.
That's out of a horror movie, bro. That's spooky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm getting the
Yeah,
fire extinguisher.
you're getting the fire extinguisher. You're getting the golf club ready to bash my head in.
We actually have like a proper metal extendable bat as well.
Oh hell yeah! I keep a fucking hammer by the door.
Wait, what? Keep a hammer by the
I
door?
keep a hammer by the door. Yeah, I keep. It's like this little mini sledgehammer.
What's it gonna do? Wait, hang on. What if the person gets in the door? They're gonna get that first.
No, cause it's by the door. They won't know it's there. It's actually
See,
technically
we're
under the
we.
stairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's your rock hammer, right?
That's the
And
one.
you've got some
Could
heavy
fucking crack
tools.
some skulls with that.
Yeah, we have.
Oh,
Definitely not
you've
allowed to have. But
shown me
anyway,
that. That's not legal. You're
yeah.
not supposed to have. Actually, let's skip on. For that, completely leave you of all the
We don't
proper
have that. We're talking
licensing
about.
for that. Now, I mean, what are we even talking? So, Jamie, how are you getting on?
I'm not too bad.
You're doing all
I'm
good.
kind of tired. Yeah. They'll just make it like a. How are you doing today?
It's all good, mate.
um,
Oh, that's fun.
surprisingly okay. I thought I'd be
Hmm.
feeling shitty right now because I got the second little vaccine today.
Oh,
But
yes, you did, didn't you?
yeah, even the person who gave me the shot were like, "Yeah, you're gonna feel shit later on." They didn't
Hmm.
sugarcoat it all. They were like, "Yeah, you're gonna feel pretty shitty later on." I was like, "Okay."
Right,
She's like, "Yeah, you're gonna get a fever and you're not gonna want to move." And I was like, "Okay."
right.
Don't need to scare me, but okay.
Yeah,
But I feel fine. It's been 12 hours since I got it, so I actually feel grand. Like,
that's good because it's about that time when it kicks in. I've heard that like on the second one, it hits people at like 11 at night.
yeah, I suppose it depends what time of the day you got it, but
Yeah.
maybe like I'm dreading. I don't sleep very well anyway, but
Right. Okay.
I'm I'm dreading anything that adds to me not sleeping is just gonna make my night hell. So I'm really hoping it doesn't
Yeah.
get
Fair
worse than
enough.
it is right now.
Oh dear. Well,
Especially because I'll be sleeping
sleeping alone.
on. Yeah, I'm scared.
Spooked. Some strange man's gonna be knocking at your door with his keys jangling around.
I mean, I'll let him in. I'm lonely, so let him in. Come on in,
Yeah.
man.
You
Want
know,
a drink?
need a little bit of warmth. You know, big
Mm-hmm.
fucking
Want a
hairy
cuddle?
dude.
Want a spoon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
You're.
god. But otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Oh. Oh.
You're what?
Oh.
What are you gonna say?
Do go on, man. No, it's all good. Don't worry about me, man. It's
Oh,
all
what
right.
were you
You
gonna say to
continue.
me?
You know, you just continue on, man. It's all right. Don't you worry about anything, little dude.
Did you
It's
just
all
say that
good.
to
Yeah,
my
you
face?
just feel. You don't even have to worry about it, man. It's all good.
No, but like,
Don't even
do you ever
fucking
think
think
about
about it, man. It's
how
all right.
angels just don't? Um. So I
What?
got back from Kerry yesterday.
Have you ever had a dream where you thought that you could and you would?
Were you good? You did it? No,
Oh, Gary,
pretty
yes.
pretty tired. Went on a little road trip to Kerry, which is the
Lovely.
southwest of Ireland, for anyone who doesn't know. While we're on the
Very
east
nice.
coast.
Yes.
It's the furthest I've ever driven, which was fun and
Mhm.
stressful.
Yeah.
The drive there is fine actually.
Mm-hmm.
Dublin itself is awful for driving, just because there's so many fucking people and the roads are like so messy.
Yeah.
But once you get out of Dublin, the motorway is just fucking straight, and then it's such a difficult road to drive because it's just straight, and you could easily not pay attention
Mm-hmm.
going 120 kilometers an hour, which is
Right.
pretty fast. But when you're doing it for 3 hours, you don't realize it.
You
and
don't. Yeah.
it's the
Everything's
easiest.
just zooming past.
Yeah, it's the easiest time for you to zone out, and bad shit happens. But luckily,
Mm-hmm.
nothing happened. Got us there safely.
Hey.
Stayed in this butthole middle of nowhere town, which was
Mhm.
fun.
Lovely.
In a nice Airbnb with a lovely lady. Gave her 5 out of 5 review, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was nice because me and Gabby are
Mhm.
usually people who go on holidays and we like go out and we drink and stuff, but
Right.
didn't drink once on this for the 4 days, 3 nights. that we
Really?
went.
You didn't go to any small little Kerry pubs like with fucking owl lads in the corner with Guinness farts, no?
Nope, didn't, because we wanted to make the most of it by going out and seeing things. So we got back pretty late,
Right.
so we'd have like I think we went to Lidl. We didn't even eat out at all. We went to Lidl and picked up stuff, like, you know what I mean.
Nice, fair play.
which is weird, but
Yeah, no, that's great.
it was very nice. It gave us more time to go out and see things, and
Mm-hmm.
saw some of the nicest things I've ever seen.
Wow.
Like, do you know about of the Gap of Dunlow?
I do not. No, do enlighten me.
It's basically, so this is probably the highlight of the trip, and it was a really impromptu thing that we did at the end of one of the days. We didn't plan on doing this, but it's this really narrow road that's like very windy going through a valley,
Mm-hmm.
and it's sick because like, well, one thing it's very dangerous because you have locals out there and they're milling around these roads, and it's well,
Zooming.
the road is wide enough for one car, but
All
it's
right, one of the
two-way
country
two-way
roads.
roads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like it's such a scenic route, and like we went through this valley and then you go up this like wee mountain, and
Mm-hmm.
then when you stop the car and you look out both sides, it's incredible. It's just like lakes and mountains for miles and stuff. It's really cool.
Lovely.
Yeah, but then driving back, we did that pretty late, and then driving back on fucking back arse roads in Kerry
Yeah.
is pretty scary during the night
During the nighttime,
when
I
it's
can
dark because
imagine.
there's no lights out there.
Yeah, yeah. I really appreciated your Instagram stories where you just put up, I got here without crashing. I didn't die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair play.
That if you look at my face, it's such a like relief for that point.
Yeah.
But that was only halfway. We had only got to the peak, and then we had to go back then. But we
All
went
right. Okay.
like a whole other way back, and it was still fucking stressful as hell.
Yeah.
But well worth it. So worth it. I think Gabby would agree. The sights and stuff were just very nice, very
Very
chic.
good. Very nice. Yeah. I saw some of your
Yeah.
photos of the nice cliffs and beaches and things you look like. Looks like a beautiful place. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I've actually. Well, I don't think I've been there in like not living memory from when I wasn't a baby.
In my dead memory, I
In my
remember.
dead memory, in my past life, I've been to Kerry. Yes, yes.
Do you believe in that past life shit?
Fuck no, 1,000%, absolutely
You don't.
no chance.
You don't believe in reincarnation?
No, bro, absolutely not.
Okay, gonna have to dive into that one day as well.
That's coming up. Oh boy, is this going to turn out to be like a good cop bad cop situation?
No, I don't believe in it either, but I think it's
Okay,
it's
right.
it's a cool thing. I find it very interesting.
It is very interesting, the whole concept of that. Yeah,
Like
we
there
could
was this
delve into that at some point.
yeah, there was a story only recently in the last like year or two of some kid who was like 8 years old, and he was able to tell stories of like 100 years ago, or like some
Yeah.
crazy years ago, and they were like, "How the fuck do you know this?" And he's like, "I lived it," and they were like,
Oh,
"You're
that's
8? Well,
creepy.
what? Yeah,
That
it's
kid
like
needs
something
to
out of
be
a horror
put
movie."
down.
That kid needs to be tied up in the back.
He needs to get that metal bat that you have through his brain. That's
Okay, watching zombies and stuff. How
okay.
easy do you think it would be to break a human skull?
Um, that's a good question because like my initial thoughts is probably quite easy. Like if you get them in the side where your squishy brain is, probably fairly simple.
Yeah, fair.
And
I
like
think
there's that
it
whole
comes.
thing that if you fall backwards, you just instantly die because the back of your head isn't that hard.
Yeah, or do you remember the whole thing of if you cross your eyes and someone hits you in the back of the head, they stay like that? Do you ever hear that?
Yeah, when you're a kid and your mom wants you to stop making faces at the fucking man behind behind the counter, like.
Mm-hmm. I think the whole smash and skull business, like obviously in zombie movies, you go around and you see people like they're just tapping their heads and they die and they smashes.
Yeah,
But I think it's all
yeah.
about whether you have it in you to do it or not. Because
Oh yeah,
even if
definitely.
you hate someone, you're gonna pull back a bit. You're not gonna hit with full
Yeah,
force. Do you
that
know what I
was
mean?
a
So I don't
big
know.
thing in armies, things like that, where a big part of why like fighting was so hard for a lot of people was exactly that. These like people who've been conscripted just like peasants or whatever in the Middle Ages, they found it really hard to like actually kill people because you're just some
Yeah.
guy. Like the human brain doesn't actually want to murder. That's a really big thing that has been like
Mm-hmm.
documented through history as well, that like some people just literally they don't have it in them, and like as you said, yeah, people
Yeah.
will pull back and stuff. That's a well documented thing. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's all like empathy or whatever, isn't it? Is
It
empathy the right
is.
word? I don't know.
Yeah. So I think um, empathy and the lack thereof is something that will fit quite nicely into today's segment that we have fucking
Hey,
25 minutes into this. Um,
Very nice. I like that little what's the word
yeah,
for it? Little
segue.
segue you did there.
Yeah.
I like what you did. Go ahead.
So what we're going to be talking about today, or what I'm going to be spewing straight facts at you, while you sit
Spitting
back
facts.
and have a nice little listen there, Jamie. Um,
Spit.
we're going to be talking about another time when the ancient Romans got absolutely fucked in a
Oh
battle.
fuck yeah.
Um, and the reason I'm describing or talking about empathy is because this battle takes it kind of revolves around two main characters who were once great friends. This is a tale of
Oh,
this is a tale of lies, deception, and betrayal, and as I said,
treachery.
the lack of empathy for one of these people who had initially been friends with the other character. Um,
I
so
like the synopsis of this so far.
yeah, this is really interesting. I when I found out about this story that I'm gonna tell you, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, bro, this is like I don't know, this is like something that you'd read in a book or a TV show, but this actually happened. There is like documented historical evidence for this shit going down.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
How did you find this? Did you just search like what, how did you find it?
That's a really good question. I think I stumbled upon it on YouTube, someone talking about it and was like, "This is amazing. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard." Just
Yep. Okay.
one of those random suggested things on YouTube that they sometimes
Mm-hmm.
give you, you know. Um,
Heck yeah, mine.
yeah, so we're gonna be talking about it's called the Battle of Teutoburg Forest. Um, it takes place in the ninth century um, uh, CE, Common Era. So when our good Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was just a wee little lad running around 9 years old, this is kind of what we're looking at. That kind of
Okay.
time period, and it's in Germany, so it's just over the River Rhine, um, and that's where we're going to
Wait,
be based.
did you say the ninth century?
Oh, ninth. No, I'm stupid. Fuck. The ninth. Yeah, when our good Lord Jesus Christ was 900
Yeah,
years
I was
old
like,
running
wait,
around.
wait
Uh,
a minute.
wait a minute. No, it's the ninth year of the
Okay,
Common Era.
getcha.
Yeah,
980.
that is correct.
Ado
Um,
Domino.
yes, and in Germany. So at this period of time, the Romans had conquered most of Europe. So there's that classic map of the Roman Empire that's just like sprawling and taking over all of Europe. That's kind of the
Mm-hmm.
period that we're talking about. But the
Okay.
Romans kind of had a little bit of an issue and have had historically some trouble with taking over Germany, going past the Rhine, that river separating France from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Because the terrain was very, very heavy, and the tribes just kept beating the Romans back essentially. But at this time, there was kind of a truce between the Romans and the Germanic tribes of the region. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so the Germanic tribes had kind of uh, accepted Roman rule to an extent, almost like a protectorate. So they kind of accepted some of their laws and things like that, but they generally were self-governing. It was just more of a title more than anything
Okay, yeah.
at this point. And at the ninth year of the Common Era,
Mm-hmm.
there was these two lads in this area in Germany, ancient Germany. One, whose name is Publius Quintilius Varus. Um, and
Okay.
Varus was a like great military commander. He was basically in charge of all of the Roman forces that were stationed kind of in Germania at this time. So
Mm-hmm.
he's our first character that we're going to be looking at. Um, so from now on, I'm just going to call him Varus, um,
Mm-hmm. Or V,
or Little V, little lad, Little V. I like
unless the
that.
other guy's name is V as well. I
The
don't
other
know.
lad's name is Arminius, so we can call him A,
Okay.
V and A. I like that.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
boys, the little lads.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Varus is this big military commander who's in charge of all of the Roman forces, and Arminius is one of his like trusted generals as well.
Okay.
Um, Arminius was a son of Germanic tribes, like chieftain, who
Oh.
he was sent to Rome as essentially like a prisoner, um, like Theon in Game of Thrones, if anyone is familiar with that.
Yeah.
Um, so he was basically sent to Rome as a uh, not a threat to the chieftains, but kind of like that. He was taken as kind of like a war prisoner, almost being like, we have your kid, don't you fuck up," kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Collateral.
Arminius, yeah, collateral. That's a great, yeah, that's the proper word for it. So this lad Arminius grew up in Rome, and he received a proper Roman education and basically grew up to be a full Roman citizen. So much
Yeah.
so that he joined the Roman army and worked his way up through the ranks, um,
Fuck.
to eventually, through some campaigning, um, to be one of the most trusted, basically, friends of this guy, Varus.
Okay.
So Varus really, really trusted this son of the Germanic tribesman, Arminius. Really, really trusted him, put his faith in
Who
him.
do you know if like Arminius was taken to Rome as a prisoner, but
Hmm.
uh, like was he adopted or something by a Roman family?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was given quite a like stately upbringing. He wasn't like just chucked to some like commoner's house. He would have had quite a nice upbringing, quite a like
Okay. He's
well
kind of
to
looked
do.
after.
Yeah, exactly. He was the son of a, essentially had the same status as a prince.
Yeah, I was gonna say because like I always see in like movies and stuff where if they take a kid from let's say the pagans or whatever, they'll bring them up in the royal family's house with his own kids or
Yes,
with their own kids. Okay.
exactly. So he was like fully ingrained into Roman culture. But
Mm.
on the sly, Arminius was constantly in contact with the Germanic tribes people
Oh.
throughout
Oh
his,
shit.
yeah, throughout all of his time in secret, would be constantly talking back and forth to the Germanic tribes peoples. Uh,
Across the seas, or were they in the same
they would have been
country?
uh, on, so like picture where Rome is, and then like in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of Italy, and just straight north of there for several hundred miles, you get to Germany essentially. So it's just like um,
Yeah.
overland basically.
Okay. I wonder
Yeah.
how he kept in touch. Little messengers.
Yeah, I think it was literally just written messengers to and fro. But Arminius was
Sneaky.
quite a sneaky and a smart guy, and he kept this secret from everyone. No one really like latched onto this. So
Okay.
picture this: you have your two main characters there, one who really trusts the other, and the other who's doing some shady stuff in the background.
Mm.
Um, and they do some campaigning together until they find themselves at this point in Germania across the River Rhine. Um, and so Varus is leading all of his troops around, kind of patrolling the area. And he makes the decision to march west kind of closer towards the Rhine because winter is essentially coming, and he's going to his winter camp. Um,
Okay.
and as they're marching, they receive word that to the north, to the north of where their position is, um, there has been an uprising in the
Ooh.
Germanic tribes. Varus is essentially told that the people have discarded all of Roman law. They've slaughtered their cohorts that are there, and Varus, who is quite a proud man and really wants the Germans to take in Roman law and stuff, and he feels that he's almost duty bound to go and quell this uprising.
Okay. Yeah.
The interesting thing to note here,
Detour.
yeah, the interesting thing to note here is that several days or weeks earlier, he had sent Arminius away from his army. Any idea
Okay.
why I might be telling you that,
What
Jamie?
was what was Armenia's up to like?
Yeah. Do you see anything that kind of might be drawing these two scenarios together by any
Look,
chance?
it could just be a coincidence.
It could just be a
Just wrong
coincidence.
place, wrong time.
Hmm.
Do you know why he was sent away though?
Yeah. So Varus sent his basically one of his most trusted advisors, Arminius, to basically scout the area, to kind of just go out,
Oh,
go on a bit of a scouting, find some stuff out.
okay.
Um, and lo and behold, Arminius sends back letters saying to the north there is this uprising. Um,
Oh, so he's like warning. He's kind of saying to his Varus to be like, "Hey, yo, something's going on up here. There's an uprising."
Ayo, stuff's going on, exactly.
Okay. Hey, yo,
So,
uprising check.
Ayo, uprising check. Yeah, essentially. So Varus, the commander, receives this message from his trusted advisor and thinks nothing of it. He's just like, 100%, there is an uprising here. I'm going to go stop this. Um, and there are some reports of people saying, "Hey, that sounds kind of dodgy. Maybe this Arminius lad, now that he's in Germania, maybe he's kind of with the Germans again." Do you ever think about that?
Yeah.
And apparently,
Maybe it's a trap.
yeah, apparently Varus was just like, no, 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 no. I trust Arminius. He is my boy. I've known him my whole life. Um, kind of thing here. Yeah.
Oof.
So Varus goes, cool, boys. We're heading north. Um, so he gets all of his troops. He had estimates are 15 to 20,000 men with him in his army,
Okay.
all marching north to
Hmm.
wherever the side of this uprising is coming from. Um, and as they're marching north, the path that essentially Arminius has been leading them on by the route that they would need to take to get to this uprising settlement
Yeah.
uh, is very awkward for an army to travel through. They are going through heavy, dense forest, um,
Mm.
going through some swamps as well. Um, and the road to get to where they need to go is really, really thin. So you can only have maybe, I don't know how many it is, but only a few men basically walking side by side. You can't actually have them marching in formation or anything like that. These guys are,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to say single file, but essentially fucking single file,
They're
walking
out of formation anyway, and
out of
they're
formation, marching through the dense woodlands that Roman troops are not used to fighting in. Um,
mm-mm.
I think in the last podcast I told you about how Romans really like fighting on the open ground. That's really their thing.
Open plane
Open
combat. Yeah.
plain combat stuff. So having them march out of sync and everything through the dense forest in essentially single file. What do you think's coming next?
Oh baby, they're gonna get attacked from the sides probably.
They're gonna get attacked by this from the sides. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've
Exactly.
heard a lot about Germanic tribes. They're like they're most they were seen as like kind of not ruffian's the wrong word. They're kind of seen as
Hmm.
like animalistic in a way, and
Like the new show,
the maybe
Barbarians.
yeah, but like they were at home in forests and that kind of territory, and like
Exactly.
they're gonna fuck shit up in there. Like
Yeah, exactly. Um, so you're completely right. These guys walked straight into an ambush. So Arminius had essentially led Varus and his troops on a straight line, on a very thin road through, um, essentially two hills. So this long
to a
line,
valley, like
yeah, through a valley, essentially a forested valley. So on
heck
one, onto their left, there is a hill that is full of German soldiers. To the right, there is another hill also full of German soldiers,
yeah. Oh
and
god.
the Romans are absolutely bombarded by spears, all kind of flying, thrown objects being chucked at them. They have no room to get into formation to fight these guys back properly. They are just getting slaughtered left and right, um, here. And it said that Arminius thought this would be such a perfect idea to take down Varus's troops because he was, trained in Rome. He had a Roman education, knew all of the fighting tactics, like they like to be in the open ground
Yeah.
and everything, and was like, this is their big weakness and I can exploit it. So yeah,
Sneaky.
basically these guys are getting attacked on either side, and Varus calls for a retreat. Um, so he just, as much as he can, tries to pull as many of his soldiers, um, kind of further up the road, and they make a defensive encampment. Um,
Okay.
so interesting, just a little tidbit. Um, Roman soldiers would travel with their walls, and essentially, to make a campsite really easy, almost like IKEA stuff. You just slap things together, ready to
Oh
go.
hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Romans did it first. Fucking the Swedes,
Oh
IKEA.
shit.
No, 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 no. Romans, bro.
Romans were all over that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Coin. So wait, they just brought furniture with them wherever they went on expeditions or whatever, and then they were just able to snap a camp together real quick.
That's basically it. So they would bring their palisade walls, basically just march with them, so they could just instantly just put them in the ground, and then they're ready to have a defensive encampment.
Damn. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
Pretty
pretty cool.
smart. I was
Um,
gonna say they they were definitely used to and were better in open um ground
hmm
combat. But
hmm
our boy Hannibal kind of proved that wrong. I just wanted to
That
shout
is
him out
true.
one time. So continue.
Chattable again, yeah.
Chattable
The
back at it.
absolute lad, the man, the myth, the legend. Here's another fun little fun fact for you for the day. Um,
Okay.
the Romans didn't have like a specific word for ambush. Um, the
Mm.
Romans viewed an ambush tactics, as really, really disrespectful and dishonorable. Um,
Yeah.
to the extent that they didn't have a proper word, they used the same word, for ambush as the same word that they would use for treason and conspiracy.
I was. Oh shit. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, eh, like, I can imagine Romans probably thought it was cowardly as well to think, oh,
Exactly.
you don't want to face us when we're
Yeah.
equal. You want to fucking attack us when we're not ready and whatever. So
When we're
treason,
weak,
I guess. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this word insidious is the word that they would have used for an ambush.
I like that word.
Yeah. And it was so horrifically dishonorable that, yeah, it essentially means treason. So
What's the
that's
meaning of that
how
word now?
I think. Well,
Mm.
it's a Latin word, so it probably has loads of new words that have sprung from it. Like in insidious, that is a word, right?
Proceeding in a gradual, subtle way, but with very harmful effects.
Yeah. So
Huh.
the Latin word is spelt a little bit differently. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
Insidias for any of you Latin speakers out there.
That better be right.
I mean, like Jamie, like the rest of everything that we've talked about, take it with a fucking
Yeah,
pinch
man.
of salt. If this is interesting to you, don't fucking listen to me. I'm here to tell you stories, not give you an education. Go read a book.
Take it with a handful of salt.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Take it with a fucking cup of salt and down it.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh Christ, I kind of wish I didn't say that. My mouth feels
Mm.
dry just thinking about it.
God.
Yeah. So anyway, these Roman lads, after getting completely fucked with this ambush, have set up a defensive encampment. They have a
Mhm.
sleepless night because they are in this forest. Um, it's probably like raining and snowing at this stage. Like it's cold. These guys are unhappy, um, and they're in unfamiliar territory and probably quite scared. Uh, so they have a horrible night's sleep, and in the morning they do. Actually, it wasn't even the morning. They actually go to. They try to move during the night so they can
Okay.
hopefully escape. Oh, the fucking tribes, they sleep. They fucking will be grand.
Yeah.
We'll try to get past them. Um,
Doubt it.
but this is when Varus leads all of his men straight into another trap led by Arminius.
Oh my god.
This boy Arminius knew what was up. He knew the exact
Yeah.
routes that this guy was going to take, the tactics that he would try to employ, and just use everything that he had learned as his time as a Roman and a friend to Varus to basically take him
Mm.
down. So these Romans
He was
go
a
in and
friend of ours, right?
they would have
But
been really trusted friends.
Varus was also his commander, right?
That's right.
Would there have been a big age gap between them?
It's a good question. I actually am not aware, but I want to say yes. I don't know the answer to that, but I'm picturing that there probably is.
It's probably like a mentor type thing where he looked up to him.
Mentor. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
That's probably the right way to think about it.
Okay. Okay.
You can look all this up later. Don't trust
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's probably a somewhat accurate depiction of what's going
Hmm.
on.
Somewhat accurate.
Somewhat
Boom.
accurate. But yeah, these lads march straight into swampland. Um, so they are trudging through all of this horrible terrain, um, and it's very, very thin as well. Because would you believe they're also being flanked on either sides by more mountains and hills,
Hmm.
going through a thin strip of bogland essentially, where they can't get into formation. Jamie, what happens next?
Man, how did they not see this coming? Like,
That's the thing.
how did no one go to him and be like, "Hey, yo, we probably shouldn't go through there, seeing as we just
Yep.
did that, and we
Yep.
lost a lot of men. You sure you wanna bring us through there,
Mm-hmm.
man?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's cool. We're good.
Yeah.
We're retreating. They're asleep. We're good."
They're
Yeah, they
asleep. They
probably
be
got
sleeping. We'll be
fucking
fine.
boned.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you picked that up as well, because whenever I've been like researching or looking this up, this is the question that most people ask, being like, how the fuck did you not like send people ahead to like scout out the area or anything?
Mm.
Um, and most of what I've kind of seen is that like people within his army were like, bro, we're getting fucked. What are you doing? Please, God, send people out. And he was like, no, 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 no. Apparently, no, 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 no. Arminius is a
Ugh.
good bro. He told me to go this way.
Oh my god.
Yeah, apparently. Um,
He's too proud.
he's too proud. So yeah, these guys are again. They're in a swampy area. There are hills on either side. They're being hemmed in. Uh,
Mm.
and yeah, just as you thought, the Germanic tribes come again, and this time Varus does not escape. Um,
Yeah.
these guys are essentially they're just slaughtered. They're outright just destroyed. They're in the wrong territory. They can't get into formation. They're in the Germanic tribes' homeland. These guys know it better than anything.
Yep.
And Varus is said to have game ended himself with his own sword.
Oh no,
Yeah. Some
another
people.
game ender.
Yeah, I think the more stuff that I talk to you about in history, you'll realize how many game ends there are.
Yeah, it was a big thing back in the day.
It was,
It
yeah.
was like
The
a
falling on your
loss of
sword.
pride.
Hmm.
Yeah, or in fairness, Varus was like, I know we were saying like, why didn't he listen to his men and he was proud, but I'd say
Hmm.
he was just so fucking heartbroken and like
Exactly.
he just didn't want to believe it. He didn't want to
Hmm.
like listen to them because that would mean that his friend and whatever actually did
Has
betray him.
betrayed him.
So
Yeah.
he held true to him, and it was the reason he died,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So that's what some people have speculated, exactly that. Varus, some people say that he has realized the betrayal of Arminius, and that is why he killed himself. That's what some people say.
Mm,
Yeah, and then it doesn't even end there.
oh no,
There's still
there's
more to
more.
go here. Um,
Okay.
so after that happens, um, and the surviving Roman soldiers, they surrender. They white flag, swords down, hands up, guys, you've won. I'm done here. Uh, um, I like asking you, what do you think happens after these guys surrender with these
The
Germanic
surviving
tribes?
Romans,
Yeah, exactly.
I I think they were probably murdered,
Yeah,
just
that's a
based on
good
what
guess.
I've heard about the Germanic tribes, and especially because they're trying to like implement their way of
Yeah,
life and whatever. They were probably
exactly.
murdered.
That is
No
ding ding
prisoners.
ding 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 ding. Correct. That's exactly what
Ew.
happened. So these guys were, it kind of goes up through the ranks. So the lesser rank guys who were surrendered and taken capture, they were systematically beheaded. All of the like foot soldiers and like lesser officers just on your knees, heads gone, bye bye.
Why
Um,
was beheading such a big thing?
I have wondered that as well. It's so I don't know. I guess it's just such a dehumanization, right?
Because it went from beheading to then hanging. It
Mm-hmm.
was a big thing. Well, sorry, it probably started with. I don't know if it started with like crucifixion was a big thing in the Catholic uh, empires, I guess.
In the Roman
Like,
Empire.
yeah, the Roman Empire. Like, if they, or maybe it was because maybe the Roman or maybe Catholics did it because people went against the religion, so they're like, all right, you gotta be crucified, mate. But then beheading became a thing, and then hanging,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess it kind of went to like the electric chair then, and like now it's injection. Because when you think about it,
Yeah,
it was
through
all
time.
a justice system,
Exactly.
just a
Yeah.
different time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why did
It,
people want to just chop heads off?
I don't know. The concept of it really scares me. Not gonna lie. That's something that like that fucks with my brain.
Yeah,
I don't like the concept of that. Um, so when I actually put myself in this situation of trying to imagine how horrific this scenario must have been for everyone involved, I don't know. It kind of blows my brain a little bit to know that this actually happened. Um, and
yeah,
do you want to know what happens to the higher up officers?
yeah. It hit me.
This is when it starts to get kind of horror movie esque. Um,
Okay.
so allegedly,
Oh.
yeah, allegedly the rest of the like remaining like kind of middling officers were dragged into the forest and strung up on the trees. Um, and yeah, basically just left there like cut open to bleed and like hang from the trees, like wrapped to them
Mm.
as like a religious sacrifice. Um,
Oh shit.
yeah, and then there's all of these kind of texts that talk about all of the like pagan rituals that the Germanic tribes would have done with these like high up officers, and like these guys would have had lots of power, and the power of their blood would have
Mm.
been whatever for their religion and stuff.
Yeah.
And for the commanders, these guys were burned alive again in ritual sacrifice.
Ugh. Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
So when I hear this, I'm picturing like it is a dark, dense forest with all of these like guys strung up. There's heads all over the floor. Some people are screaming, being
Mm-hmm.
burned alive. It is a horror movie.
Yes.
It's a
I
spooky concept.
I'm sure this happened as well, but I was gonna guess that maybe they were tied up to horses and then pulled apart.
Maybe in your
I'm
own
pretty sure that
head
was a thing
canon.
in history.
Yeah, that was hung, drawn, and quartered. That was a thing in medieval times.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. Man.
Speaking of being
It'll,
pulled
that
apart by
yeah.
horses, have you ever seen the Sean Bean film Black Death?
Yes, I have.
You have. That is one of my
I
favorite
have
Sean
seen it.
Bean deaths. Do you remember how he dies?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember now. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, because it's traumatic. Sean Bean screaming as he's being pulled apart by two
Mm-hmm.
horses and splits essentially in the middle. It's fucking disgusting, but also
Yeah.
really
It's
kind of,
fucked.
I don't know, it's
What a
kind
way to
of
go.
sickly cool. I don't know. It's a good
Yeah.
Sean Bean
Like
death. I'll say that much.
yeah, if you're an actor, if I was an actor, that's how I would be written out of a show. I'd be pulled
Yeah,
apart by
right,
horses.
right.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Ta-
very cool movie.
talking
Would
about
recommend.
talking about pulled apart by horses. You ever hear that band?
I have heard of it. I knew you were going to say that. Yes, yes, I have.
Great band. Just saying.
Hmm.
They're very nice.
Little
Very good.
little shout out.
Okay, what happened to this Germanic fucker that betrayed his friend Varus, our boy Varus?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Or did you not
Let's.
look
Oh
into
no,
that?
this is interesting, and this is also a Oh, it's almost bittersweet. I want to say.
Oh,
So our
okay.
boy Arminius, he was essentially abducted as a prisoner, a war prisoner, brought up in
Mm.
Roman society, had quite a nice little upbringing, was educated in Rome, worked his way up through the Roman army to become quite a respected leader, to only betray one of his most trusted friends, um, and essentially go back to his Germanic ways, back to his tribes and such. Um, and he started to grow power within the Germanic tribes, eventually becoming so powerful within the region that he was eventually assassinated by other tribes members. Yeah, so it's
Oh
kind of it's
man,
it's you kind of deserved it, bro.
he had it coming. He did have it
You
coming.
had it. You had it
That's
coming.
well. I mean, okay. Well, think about it this way. He probably was in command of legions that murdered a lot of Germanic people when he was building his reputation in Rome, right? Or in Italy.
Um, I think they campaigned in like bits around. I could be completely wrong, but I think it's like bits around Croatia. I don't think he actually campaigned in
Uh
Germany, as far as I'm aware.
yeah. I suppose it'd be a bit fucked if he was like or communication with someone in Germany and then he was like sending
Like,
legions there just to like
yeah,
show face or
I could be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think he did.
okay.
But
Man,
yeah, there you
what
go,
a
Jamie.
he did have
And
it coming.
full circle, there you have your lack of empathy of little Arminius for not caring anything about this guy who had essentially trusted him so much, and this culture that had taken him in and as a citizen, and just betraying them horribly.
He was kind of just uh a pawn though.
Yeah.
Like he was taken as collateral
Hmm.
against his will away from his family. So
Yeah,
obviously he would still have that deep hatred for these Romans.
he would. Yes.
And he just was smart enough to get on their side, build
Hmm.
respect and loyalty, and then use it against them to fuck them
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm guessing he did that with all the knowledge he would have gained as well. Obviously, he
Hmm.
showed it in that when he killed Varus and all that. But he
Yes.
I'm sure that's how he rose in the ranks in the Germanic tribes as well, because he just
Yeah,
knew so much about the Romans.
smart little boy.
What, like he got assassinated because he was getting too powerful? Is
He
that what you
got
said?
assassinated because people didn't trust him because he was getting too powerful.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
You can't, like, you
you
just
can't
can't have
win.
it.
You just can't win.
No. Too bad,
um,
man.
yeah. So Jamie, when I was researching this, I was like, there's so many parallels here between this guy Arminius and Theon from Game of Thrones, that I was like,
Hmm.
surely your man George R. R. Martin knows about this. I can't tell for sure, but like I'm almost positive that he has read about this somewhere and used it um as an influence.
Probably.
Yeah, because I know
It's been so long.
he's taken lots of other stuff like the War of the Roses and things like that. He does know his history and he like picks and chooses
Mm.
bits. So I wouldn't be surprised if Theon is maybe somewhat based around Arminius.
Should ask him.
Send him an L email there, ring him up.
Yeah, send the office an email and be like, hey yo,
Hey
this
yo,
this
hey Georgie
I know
boy.
your secret. I know your
Yeah,
secret.
I'm gonna reveal you. I'm gonna dox you, bro.
What happened? Okay, with Theon, he was raised by the Starks, right?
Yes.
As a son, but he was also an outsider, right? Um, why was he with the Starks? He was taken away from someone.
Yeah, so the Greyjoys that
The Iron
Theon
Islands.
is part of, yeah, the Iron Islands, they stage a rebellion against the Seven Kingdoms. And basically Ned Stark shuts that down and takes Theon as a prisoner.
Ah, so it's pretty much identical.
Pretty much identical. And then, would you believe, Theon goes back to the Iron Islands and betrays the Starks.
Yes, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he comes back and he makes friends with the Starks again,
Yes, after going
right?
through some horrible torture.
He well
Yes.
he yeah, going through horrible torture, and then he helps Sansa.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So after that point,
Yeah,
it kind
because
of
he's trying to redeem
deviates.
himself.
Yeah, but up until that point, it feels very similar to me anyway.
If I mean, yeah, if Arminius didn't die, but
Yeah.
let's say the Germanic people were like trying to kill him, and he survived or whatever, he probably could have went back to the Romans and be like, "I'm really sorry, I'll help you out here."
Yeah, right. Maybe
Then it would have been full circle
would have been
with Game
full
of Thrones.
circle. Yeah, yeah. If it was someone actually writing the story rather than something that actually happened, that's probably what the author would have chosen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd have some sympathy for the Romans, but I did. Poor
Here
little
you go.
Varys.
It's quite an emotional story, isn't it? Um,
Little Varys.
yeah. So this guy Varys, just to fill you in, because I don't think I actually said it at the start, he was kind of a bastard. He got a reputation in the Germanic kind of people's mind of being really, really like cruel, and he would crucify people a lot. So maybe don't feel
Oh, I hate him.
maybe
Never mind.
don't
Fuck him.
maybe
Get
don't
him.
feel too bad about
No,
him.
fuck that guy. I'm glad. He deserved it.
Yeah, right.
Fuck that guy. Take everything back. I don't Romans sucked back in the day. They really did.
Back in the day, they absolutely did. Everyone's always like, "Oh yeah, bro," but they had sewer systems, and you're like, "No, shut up. No, they were horrible."
Yeah, but they had sewer systems. That's the argument.
Oh
They were just
Christ!
shitty people.
Shitty people who
Ambitious.
needed
They're
somewhere to
too
put their
ambitious
shits.
to a fault.
Yes.
That sums up the Romans in one sentence. Too ambitious to a fault.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you have it. I think you've learned something, Jamie. How do you feel?
Um, I I've definitely, well, I knew little sneaksters back then. I learned that even someone in a Germanic tribe, because I've always known Germanic tribe to be animalistic is the wrong word, but they were like
Yeah. Warlike,
barbarians. Like they were
barbaric.
just
Yeah.
yeah. But for someone from that background who was brought up in the Roman way, but he still held true to the
Mm-hmm.
barbarians as such.
Yeah.
That's pretty sneaky, and that shows a lot
It
of
is
potential
very
when he got
sneaky.
killed.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
The barbarians probably he was probably really cunning. Like they were probably like, okay,
Yeah,
he's too smart for his own good.
for
Can't
his own
trust him. Let's
good.
kill him. Fuck him.
Yeah, probably something along those lines. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Great.
also learned not to sympathize with the Romans.
It took you a while, but yeah, you got to the end, and then you've kind of got it now.
Yeah, because I did feel sorry for him, but and I
Until I
kind
gave
of
you the
had it in the back of my
background.
head that yeah, he probably is cruel, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
He he didn't deserve what happened to him, but he absolutely 100% did.
Everyone's a bad guy in this scenario.
Yeah, it's fucking interesting though
It is
how
very
these times have
interesting,
actually happened.
right? That's a thing. This happened 2,000 years ago. And that's a thing that we're
Trying to think.
right now able to have a conversation telling a story about. I think that that's so cool. That blows my mind.
Yeah, only Gabby was saying because we've been watching Vikings. Gabby's been saying like I think it's insane how we're sitting here looking at a square or
Yeah.
a box
Mm-hmm.
watching like someone's life unfold
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
lived a couple of 100 years ago. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's insane because imagine during these times, these people were just people and they lived how they had to live
Right.
and they did what they had to do.
Of course.
To tell them, oh, someday in 100 years, people are going to be watching your life on a screen,
Mm-hmm.
or they won't even know what a screen is. They're going to be watching your life being portrayed.
On a magic box.
Yeah, I guess they would have known plays and stuff, but it's like more than a
Yeah.
play. It's like very dramatic. I don't know,
I
but
get you. No, I
yeah,
get you.
Gabby was blown away. And then I thought about it properly, and I was like, yeah, that is pretty fucked up.
It is mind blowing. Yeah.
Just because we're on this topic, real
Mm-hmm.
quick,
Real quick.
I had this little just based on like watching fucking. We were talking about Game of Thrones and movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You were a big reader, and you still are a big reader, right?
Yeah, I've
You like books.
transitioned over to audiobooks because I'm a lazy bastard. But yes, I do read a good bit.
Which do you prefer, films or books?
Films, definitely. Um,
Really?
yeah, my brain when I'm like, yeah, I just want to relax. I'll put on a film and like, I'm quite a visual person, so like I really love the cinematography and like just like the certain colors that
Yeah.
some directors will use. That's like my big thing. I absolutely love that. With books, it's the story is generally way better in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, but it can be quite a slog to get through, and I sometimes have to be really in the mood. So when you judge those two up, like I can easily sit down to a film and have a great time, whereas a book, sometimes I'll sit down to it and be like, oh, I'm not feeling this.
Okay, let me rephrase it then. Which engulfs you more?
Oh, books.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because
That's a better
I
question.
wrote
Come
this
on,
down.
man.
Well, yeah. Overall, you said films though, so your answer
That's
did
true.
change just
Yeah, that is
because.
that is true.
But I had like 2 points written down. Like for I see. I think it's. I don't know. I think it's films for me because
Mhm.
books are part of your life for a longer time,
Yeah.
of course,
Mhm.
and you use your imagination. I
Yes.
find that's probably the best thing about books.
Yeah.
But I feel like you using your imagination may engulf you more in your own head.
Mhm.
But at the same time, films give you like a visual representation of a world, so it makes it more real,
Of
if that
course.
makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'd agree.
So you're not responsible for making it up in your head
Mhm.
and how it looks. I guess obviously it's down to the author describing something well enough for you to actually be able to picture it, but when it's left up to you to picture things that aren't so well described,
Okay.
then you're creating that world and it doesn't feel as real.
Okay.
It feels like it
Not
feels like it
fleshed
is in
out,
your
I
head.
guess.
Whereas a film is like you're looking at an actual representation of a world, so it makes it
Mhm.
feel more real. Know what I
I can
mean?
get it. Yeah, I can totally get it.
I just had that internal little debate with myself recently.
Right. What I've noticed I do a lot lately is when I'm watching a film where it's like a fantasy or like a sci-fi movie or something, I can't
Mm.
for the life of me help looking at the sets and being like, I wonder how they made that set. Oh, look at that. That's something that I recognize. Or like, I'll turn to Anna and be like, hey, is that a real tree? Like, what tree is that?
Oh no, it can be good and bad.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how my brain is dissecting films now. So recently, really good series we've been watching, Raised by Wolves. Have you heard of that?
I haven't, no.
It's this sci-fi TV show made by Ridley Scott, the guy who did Blade Runner and Alien.
Yeah.
And it's based on a far, far away planet, all that kind of stuff. There's androids going around, but there's also a lot of like plant life. And I kept turning to Anna and be like, Anna, what's that plant? And she would just like give me the like scientific name of it, and I'm being like, that's not in space.
He's like, whoa. That's not a space flower, man.
Yeah,
that's not a space plant.
That's not a space plant. I want my money back. Give me a new one. Give me a new fucking plant. Yeah, you lazy bastards.
Make shit up and artfully design every little bit of something in space for people like you, for dickheads like you who will point it out and be like, "Hey, whoa, that's not real."
Yeah, basically. But
you just ruin it for yourself. Then,
I completely ruin it for myself. I'm my own worst enemy here. 100%. Yes.
Alrighty.
I
think we'll end that one there.
Good. And very good.
Hell yeah! But I think next week I'm gonna keep it simple and just go with phobias. Lovely. So we did dreams. Dreams is like a real generic one that we just talked about, but we'll talk about phobias.
Cool. I like it. Everyone's got a fear of something.
Yeah, whether they know it or not, they have a fear of something. What did Anna say?
It was a Simpsons reference. Anna walked into the room, and I went, everyone's got a fear of something, and it's a Simpsons quote where Marge goes, sock puppets, and Homer screams and runs out of the room. I just thought it was perfect timing. We'll end it there, okay. I guess.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh.
Hell yeah. Thank you for listening if you made it to the end of this one. And I hope you found it interesting. Wherever you listen to this, if you did enjoy, make sure to let us know. You can comment on YouTube or leave a review on one of the podcast hosting websites. Or you can email us if you feel so inclined. somewhereaccurate.podcast@gmail.com. You can let us know some topics you may want us to cover. But yeah, catch you all next week. Bye-bye.